everything's gone thus far?
It's actually been a real pleasure to work with the city of Maricopa, from the front office to the building inspectors, fire marshal, fire inspectors. It's gone really smoothly. So here in Maricopa, you guys have done a great job, and it's been a great project so far.
And I know some people may be worried that the shelves are empty right now. So when can we expect the actual groceries and everything to be delivered?
The next big step for us here inside the store is going to be to start stocking dry goods. So things are going to start happening real quick.
Okay. Final question. Everyone's really want to know, when is Sprouts going to be open?
Well, I hope you're here the 25th so that you can get your tuna salad.
I will definitely be here, and I hope to see all of you here. For all the latest developments and great things happening with the city of Maricopa, please check out what'snewmaricopa.com. Last week, the city of Maricopa came together for the largest community cleanup campaign in the city's history. Individuals from all walks of life rallied and walked throughout their community, picking up litter in a vow to keep Maricopa beautiful. We received dozens of emails from groups showcasing their efforts to keep Maricopa beautiful by collecting multiple bags of litter during the 2-hour-only event. To learn more about the next community cleanup event, please visit keepmaricopabeautiful.com.
Good morning, City of Maricopa. We are standing on the north side of town on State Route 347, which is the main entrance into the City of Maricopa. Over the last few years, we've seen tremendous growth with residential and commercial. As growth continues, it gives us the opportunity to do additional projects, one of which is a landscaping project down the 347. It'll go from Honeycutt Road to the north entries of town. This includes trees, landscaping, rock boulders, some metal art deco. There'll be some lighted metal structures all the way down the median. When you pull into the north side of town, we're going to have an impressive monument right in the middle of the road that represents the City of Maricopa, which has been well needed for many years. This project has been years, maybe even decades in the making, with City Council and citizens' requests and responses to increase the beautification of coming into town. We'd like to thank each one of you for the time, effort, energy, and the patience of getting this done. We look forward to having this project completed by the end of the year.
Thank you for being here this evening. As you please find your seats, we'd like to call the meeting to order on Tuesday, April 19th, 2022 at 7 p.m. At this time, we'd like to invite Elders Quorum President Brett Riggs from the Maricopa Wells Ward of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to please come forward. He'll give us our invocation, after which we'll be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Vice Mayor Vince Manfredi. So please rise. Make sure the button's pressed, the little green light is showing.
Yep. Okay. Our dear Heavenly Father, we are grateful that we are able to be here as a city this evening, and would ask that Thou please bless us all, that Thy Spirit may be upon us, and that we may be able to work through the issues that are upon our city at this time, and that we may continue to be blessed with the growth and the sustainability of that growth. And we pray for those men and women who are out there in the day-to-day services, our policemen and firemen who are serving our community, that Thou please look after them and keep them safe in all the trials that they face. And we also pray for those brave men and women across the seas who are fighting and for their freedoms and liberty, that they'll be protected and that peace will come and that we may have peace upon our land once again. And we love Thee, dear Father, and we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, President Riggs. We appreciate that. And Vice Mayor, that'll take us to the roll call, please.
Councilmember Learman. Here. Councilmember Marsh.
Here.
Councilmember Smith. Here. Councilmember Vitiello. Here. Councilmember Wade.
Here.
Vice Mayor Manfredi.
Here.
Mayor Price.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Great. We have a few proclamations tonight, so I'll come down there, get started on these. Thank you all for being here this evening. I know there's a lot going on. You have a busy schedule, so we certainly appreciate your attendance. For those of you that are in constant selfless service of the city, would you please come forward? We'd love to honor you this evening with a proclamation for those volunteers that are in police and fire and parks and rec and just about anything else. So will you come on up here? Don't be shy. Come on. Let's go. Come on up. We have CERT, so many volunteers. No, of course not. I don't know, proclamation, I guess. See, they come in all shapes and sizes. I'm pointing at the dog, by the way. All right. Whereas individuals and communities are at the center of social change, discovering their powers to make a difference, and whereas giving of oneself in service to another through volunteerism empowers the giver and the recipient, and whereas the entire community can inspire, equip, and mobilize people to take action through volunteerism that changes the world, and whereas experience teaches us that government by itself cannot solve all our nation's social problems. And whereas citizens who volunteer their time provide assistance which cannot be measured in terms of dollars, volunteers provide a spirit of helping that multiplies in value when each citizen reaches out to assist another. And whereas volunteers throughout the city of Maricopa donate their time to a wide variety of human service programs, such as senior services, alcohol and drug rehabilitations, food banks, domestic violence services, programs for child abuse prevention, maternity and adoption, literacy, homeless youth, and so many more. And whereas these citizens also donate their time in helping the city of Maricopa through their service on city council boards, commissions, and committees. And whereas the city of Maricopa has so many volunteers providing services to the various city departments, including library, police, fire, parks and recreations, and wherein wherein the police department alone in 2021 had volunteers that contributed over 8,700 hours of their time to the city of Maricopa, which is an equivalent of over 4 full-time employees, saving the city more than $230,000. So whereas volunteers are vital to our future as a caring and productive nation, now therefore I, Christian Price, Mayor of the City of Maricopa, do hereby proclaim the week of April 17th through the 23rd, 2022 as Volunteer Appreciation Week in the City of Maricopa, and we urge all residents of Maricopa to recognize, support, and commend these special volunteers. Let's give them a big round of applause. Perfect. Did you guys get a picture? Excellent. Thank you again. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate all you do. Couldn't do it without you. Thank you.
Can I get one of those?
You sure can.
Thank you very much.
Is Vanessa here? Vanessa? There you are, Vanessa. Come on up. Thank you for being here this evening. Appreciate it. And you guys are going to do a little presentation after that. Okay, great. So we have another proclamation this evening. Whereas the term victim is not a stigmatized label, it is a term with legal standing and protection that go along with it, much as the rights to be heard and to be treated with fairness, dignity, and respect. Whereas this commemorative week recognizes the need for safety, justice, access, and equity for all survivors, and whereas crime exacts an emotional, physical, psychological, and financial toll on victims as they have lost loved ones, life savings, physical and mental health, and often their sense of security that has the potential to the words aren't coming out tonight, I apologize, irrevocably change the course of their lives. And whereas a collaborative and educated response involving victim service professionals, criminal justice officials, legal professionals, medical and mental health providers, and community leaders is essential to reach and serve all victims, including those who are marginalized, have disabilities, or live in remote locations. Whereas we are determined to respond to crime and violence by helping victims find not only support, recovery, and justice, but also a sense of hope, safety, and peace for their future. And whereas National Crime Victims Rights Week provides an opportunity to recommit to ensuring that acceptable, appropriate, and trauma-informed services are offered to all victims of crime. And whereas the City of Maricopa is hereby dedicated to helping crime survivors find their justice by enforcing victims' rights, expanding access to services, and ensuring equity and inclusion for all. Now, therefore, I, Christian Price, Mayor of the City of Maricopa, do hereby proclaim the week of April 24th through the 30th, 2022, as National Crime Victim Rights Week in the City of Maricopa, reaffirming this city's commitment to facilitating a victim service and criminal justice response that assists all victims of crime during National Crime Victims Rights Week and throughout the year, and expressing our sincere gratitude and appreciation for those community members, victim service providers, and criminal justice professionals who are committed to improving our response to all victims of crime so that they may find a relevant assistance, support, justice, and peace. This is dated the 19th of April, 2022. Let's give these guys a big round of applause for all they do.
I just want to take a quick moment to let you guys know, if you know any survivors of crime, there are resources available in Maricopa. We like to have a no wrong door approach. Wherever you show up for help, you will get help. We'll send you in the right direction. So at Against Abuse, We provide services for those impacted by domestic and sexual violence, sexual harassment, stalking, and human trafficking. We have served over 450 survivors of the past year, and that's a total of over 11,000 services that we've been able to provide to people in Pinal County. Some of the services we offer include shelter and community services, meaning you can get safe shelter at our locations, or we can come to you wherever you're at in Pinal County to help. We also offer safe housing for animals, supervised visitation, criminal and civil justice assistance, lay legal advocacy, medical advocacy, emotional support, safety services, crisis intervention, support groups, information and referral services, and personal advocacy and accompaniment for a variety of things such as housing or childcare, transportation, and whatnot. Vanessa?
Hi, I'm Vanessa from the Hope Women's Center here in Maricopa. We have 6 centers in Arizona, and we are so excited that we were able to open. Whoops. Whoa, that got louder. We were so excited that we got to open in December of 2020. Mayor came and cut the ribbon for us, and since December of 2020, we've seen over 100 women and teens. We are not a shelter. We don't do overnight. We are a day center that helps with programs for life skills and gets people in any life difficult situation. We engage, encourage, and equip them to be able to move forward, and we mentor. We have all of our services you see up there. We're at hopewomencenter.org if you have more questions, but I would just like to say thank you that we live in a community that has wraparound services such as these, and that Maricopa does care about their people. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Jim DiVenese. I'm the Community Support Specialist with the Police Department. And I wrote a little cheat sheet because I have a tendency to speak too long and too much. So let me just talk a little bit about these numbers of 616 and 4101. The Victim Assistance Program started back in 2009. For those who remember Jerry Good, who was a citizen, resident of Maricopa, decided that he wanted to start a program for victims. So on his own dime, his own money, he went to different trainings, and in 2009, got the Victim Assistance Program together. Rod and I, where's Rod? Rod and I are in the second class that they had from way back 2009, 2010. We also had, and crisis response team continues to be running to this day. We also have YANA, the You Are Not Alone program. Some of our YANA callers are up here in front. Call seniors who are basically shut-ins, seniors that may be widowed, that are alone, can't get out, provide emotional support, but also to do a double check on them just to make sure everything is okay. The YANA volunteers and police, we have found people who have fallen and were not able to get up and saved lives. It's not just well, let's just call people. It's a very valuable service, and I commend the callers. We also have a special needs registry that started in 2018 for individuals who do have special needs that the fire department and the police department are given a heads up or red flag to know if someone is autistic or in a wheelchair or deaf or whatever it may be. So there is sensitivity when the police and fire department have to respond to the home. Chaplains, we have Juanita with us today. We have chaplains that are also part of victim services. Chaplains provide, besides love and affection to all of us, but they go out on the death notification calls, or what's coded as dead body calls, to be able to provide the supports for people who have lost somebody on perhaps the worst days of their lives. So Juanita and a few of the others are chaplains that assist the police department and fire department with that. We have Sarah Vonderheid as our court advocate. Sarah goes to court every Tuesday, provides everything from orders of protection to follow-up services for crime victims. Sarah couldn't be here tonight, but I wanted to make sure that I mentioned her. We also provide domestic violence services. I used to do in greater frequency divert, home visits, follow-ups after someone was victimized, to be able to speak to survivors, to offer services to them when realistically our court system may not be, may be overloaded, and sometimes things get lost. Survivors get lost in that translation. We try to pick up that slack and provide that safety net. And last but not least, we provide referrals and resources and a lot of support services information. I'll get calls or emails from the officers or just people that would call up and just say, my grandfather has Alzheimer's, could you have information? Certainly. Or what about mental health issues? Certainly. We provide a lot of different services and safety nets for people, not just in Maricopa, but it's all under the umbrella of victim services. So I'm honored to work with the police department, to be a resident now of 17 years here in the city of Maricopa, and I appreciate the support that we all have here, because it feels good to be able to go to work every day and to know that we have the support from the chief on down, but of the residents too. So thank you. Thank you. I'd like, if I could, just for a brief time, just to have Kaya come back here, and she'll explain, perhaps.
Could we all please take a moment of silence for those who have been victimized by crime? That was 26.2 seconds, which is how frequently someone in this nation is victimized by violent crime. In Maricopa, we believe you. We're here for you. You're not alone through this journey. Please reach out. We'd be happy to help. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your participation this evening on those proclamations. That'll take us to item 4, which is the report from the mayor and council. Council members, anything at this time you'd like to share with the audience? Let's start with Councilmember Marsh.
I had a light couple of weeks with just 2 meetings. The Pinal County Water Augmentation Authority met, and they had a guest speaker from Salt River Project. He presented a 1-hour pitch on cloud seeding as a way of getting more water out of the clouds that pass over us. They've been experimenting with it at SRP for 16 years, and the bottom line is it's too expensive for the limited quantity of water you get from silver iodide cloud seeding. And on that same day, I had, on April 12th, I had a meeting of the Maricopa Community Advocates Board. That's a nonprofit that is doing some good things here in Maricopa. That's about it. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Laura Smith, anything?
No.
Vice Mayor? Good. Okay. Just very briefly here, attended the ADOT meeting as usual at the state. This time it was in Douglas. I attended virtually this time as it was a little bit busy time of week. And so anyways, usual things that are going and transpiring down there. They are talking about the 5-year plan. Again, it's all about timing and understanding how that works in order to get on the 5-year plan, but you also have to come in with a fiscally constrained project. You have to have a shovel-ready project. You have to have a project that has gone through the timing of the studies and things of that nature. And so all those things are critical, but also have the opportunity to spend some time at Province this past week with the Vice Mayor and also Rich Vidiello, talking about 347, how it works, what's going on with Prop 416, 417, and how all of that is transpiring. Again, just the rundown on that, as you've heard many times, but just so you know, that we met with the PRTA, which is the Pinal County Regional Transit Authority, to which I sit as a member, and in that process, we will be sending it back to the ballot for the judicial clarifications that the Supreme Court asked us to make if we wanted this to continue on, and so we'll be sending that back to the ballot this November. So, you know, whether you choose to vote for it or not is up to you. But again, the plan will stay as it was passed in 2017, but the money that comes from it, again, will go to pay for fixing 347, the east-west corridor, and many other projects throughout Pinal County. So it's a pretty big deal, and that's what's important. So again, doing everything we can to move 347 forward. And then just to give a quick informational here, this is the second time the Vice Mayor and I have done this. We did this to the entire community about a month ago here at the community center, and we'll continue to do it as long as people have questions or concerns, but certainly just trying to give people the understanding of what goes into transportation, how it works, why things are slow, the competition amongst for funding across the entire state and how this works. So again, 347 is not in our control, it's in ADOT's control, and ADOT has to fund and pave and maintain every other roadway that is not under city control in the entire state, and that includes railroads as well as airports. And so it's a huge job, and there's never enough money allocated from the state legislature. So those are the challenges we face, but we are certainly moving in the appropriate direction, as well as we have several things in for participating in grants or programs at the federal level, whether they be earmarks that are now starting to happen again at the congressional level, to many other things that we are trying to participate in the federal infrastructure program that we're working towards to get those monies dialed in and drawn down towards the city. So hopefully help the 347 and get that fixed. That concludes my report at this time, and concludes yours as well, Council. We'll move on to the report from the City Manager. Nothing at this time from the City Manager. That'll take us to the call to the public. At this time, you have 3 minutes to come forward and tell us what's on your mind. I do have 2 speaker cards for people that wish to speak at the public hearing. To those that have given those speaker cards, we'll get to those when we get to that standpoint on the public hearing time. At this point, we'd love to hear from anybody that wants to approach us and tell us what's on your mind. Again, 3 minutes. We don't typically answer as it's not agendized, but we do want you to get the answers you're looking for, so we'll certainly point you in the right direction to the appropriate staff member.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and City Council. I am Dr. Yolanda Rodriguez, representing the City of Maricopa Chamber of Commerce, and I just want to make an announcement to the City Council and, of course, the members of Maricopa about the 15th Annual Maricopa Chamber of Commerce Awards, and we're having an awards gala this Saturday, the 23rd, here in town, and we just wanted to discuss some of our sponsors and say thank you to our sponsors. We have several gold sponsors who awarded $1,500 each, and those would be 911 Air Repair, Global Water Resources, Exceptional Hospital, Liquidate Arizona, AA Raymond Law Firm. Those are our gold sponsors for the event. Our silver sponsors donated $500 to the event, and that would be American Family Insurance, ED number 3, Glover Court Solutions, Maricopa Economic Development Alliance, State Farm Insurance, Jamie Brisbane, Sweet Cravings, Apex Motor Club, Felix Appliance Heating and Air, Home Smart Realty, Northern Lights Therapy, Susie's Cruises, and Wells Counseling Service. And we have a number of bronze sponsors at $250 apiece. That's Arizona Quality Plumbing, B Community Church, CS Industries, Empire West Title Agency, Faces of the Future, Joya Gift Baskets, Pinal Partnership. And what I'd really like to say is congratulations to all of the nominees for the WAS Business of the Year Award is Exceptional Healthcare and Carson's Ace Hardware. The Small Business of the Year Award is Copa Craze. Nominees, there are Copa Craze, Cotton Blossom, Felix Appliance Heating and Air, Liquidate Arizona, Northern Lights Therapy, and the Sunny Dunn Citizen of the Year nominees are Brenda Campbell, Amber Lehrman, and Crystal John. The Renata Chamberlain Volunteer of the Year Award nominees are Jennifer Connolly, Jim Irving, Tiffany Esom, Crystal O. John, and the Nonprofit of the Year nominees are Be Awesome, Boys and Girls Club, Faces of the Future, Maricopa Pantry and Operation Support Military Heroes. So if you really want to know who is going to be the award winners, we invite you all to buy a ticket. It's online. You can register online, and we hope to see you there. It's going to be Latin themed, and I know I've seen some of you out there doing the salsa, and I'd like to see a little bit more of that hip action if we could. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yolanda. Appreciate it. Anyone else at this time like to approach the podium for call to the public? Okay, seeing no one, we'll go ahead and close call to the public this time. Again, thank you for your participation. And council, that'll take us to item 7, which is the consent agenda. Any questions on consent for items 7.1 through 7.6 at this time? Seeing nothing, is there a motion to approve consent then? There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. And that'll take us to item 8.1 on the regular agenda. This is the Mayor and City Council to discuss possibly take action on making an appointment to fill the vacancy on the Cultural Affairs and Arts Advisory Committee. I believe this is for discussion and action. I believe, Bob, the appointment is yours, but we had a discussion. I'll turn the time over to you.
I'd like to table this item, but because we don't have any applications in
Mayor.
yet to consider. But I would like to invite anyone who knows anyone who's interested in the arts and cultural affairs to apply online for this open position on the Cultural Affairs and Arts Committee. Thank you.
Bob, I would ask that we're going to, Councilmember Wade has one as well, so we'll just table your appointment for this evening if that's okay, and we'll proceed to Councilmember Wade's, who also has one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It gives me a great privilege to announce that Danielle Lamorian is going to join the Cultural Arts and Arts Committee. I actually have been trying to get Ms. Lamorian to get on a committee since I came on to City Council. So she is a avid community member, an avid supporter. She knows what's going on in the community, even though you may not know it. She knows exactly what's happening. She's a graduate of the Academy, and I think she's going to be a great asset for the Cultural Arts Committee.
Thank you. That's exciting. Is there any further discussion on Ms. Danielle Lamorian? Seeing none, would you go ahead and make a motion, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make the motion that Danielle Lamorian be included in the Cultural Arts Committee as a member.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second? A second, Councilmember Vidiello. Excellent. Again, seeing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Congratulations, Danielle, and thank you very much for wanting to serve. Yes?
I'm sorry, one thing I forgot is she would be mad at me if I didn't say this. She's a great mom. She's a wonderful mom. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. That'll take us to item 8.2. The Mayor and City Council hear a public comment regarding the minor general plan amendment requested by the City of Maricopa on behalf of Iplan Consulting to amend the general plan future land use map for approximately 111 acres from existing low-density residential to master plan community, generally located at the northwest corner of the W. Rubin Drive and North Ensenada Road alignments of approximately 0.5 miles west of North Anderson Road and 0.65 miles north of West Teal Road. This is for discussion at this time, so we will turn it over to you, sir, after which we will move to the public hearing, and I will open that up just in a moment. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council members. Good evening. Today I'm going to present the case for general plan amendments for Santa Cruz Ranch 2203. This is a request by the City of Maricopa on behalf of Iplan Consulting to amend approximately 111 acres of existing general plan land use of low-density residential to master plan community. This may seem familiar as the City Council previously approved this November 19th of last year, and this is merely a corrective measure as we inadvertently left out 111 acres from the site exhibits and the other visual maps that were in the staff report and presentation at the time. So we're going to come back and request to include these 101 acres back into the original plan as intended. This is the site exhibit right here. It is in the southeastern portion of the city, or not within city limits, it's in Pinal County. It's within the general plan, planning area. And the site right here is low-density residential. The vast majority of the master plan community on the southeast of the site was originally part of the original Santa Cruz Ranch general plan amendment, and the site right here was inadvertently left out. And the Planning and Zoning Commission on March 25th recommended approval of this item, case number GPA 2203. And Mayor and council members, that is it for my presentation, and would like to proceed.
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it. Any questions at this time of Alex? If not, we'll go ahead and open the public hearing, and then we can continue to ask questions as we need be. At this time, I'd like to open the public hearing. I have two speaker cards. First one is Mr. Kenneth Carden. If you'd please come forward. Thank you, Kenneth.
So, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of the board, my name is Kenneth Carden. I live probably a stone's throw away from this future build that we're doing. I know this is in regards to 111 acres. It's just kind of it's funny to me how somebody can just forget about 111 acres. That's 10% of what they're wanting to get. But I just wanted to just kind of pose in your minds just one quick thing here is that I know this is going to try to become a community of roughly about 6,000 homes, give or take a couple hundred. And it is going to disrupt a lifestyle that we have created out in the Santa Rosa Ranchos over there. It's going to disrupt this lifestyle. And there's going to be a lot of obstacles and things that are going to cause many issues further down the road. And I just want to pose an idea that maybe not necessarily a community or a subdivision of homes. We have a lot of homes with a lot of other developments going on, but maybe think of putting in some sort of a development, something like an equestrian center, an equestrian ranch, an equestrian school, or something like that. That way we still keep that feel of the original Maricopa that we had back before the overpass and all the city and everything came in. That way we can still keep that Maricopa feel, but still also have that opportunity to grow and become a bigger city, and that'll also provide more jobs for the city, allow less congestion on that 347 as people may want to work there, people within the city who may want to ride horses or do things like that have to drive all the way up to Chandler, Mesa, Gilbert, travel on that 347, could just travel 15, 20 minutes down the road, and they can go ride a horse, and they're going to spend a lot more time there than up at Chandler, because then when they're done, they have that hour drive. Here you're going to have 15, 20 minutes, and it's ours. And, Casa Grande might come this way, and other people from the surrounding cities are going to come by too. So just please keep in mind consideration of our lifestyle that we have. Think of maybe possibly changing it from this master plan community of building a subdivision of hundreds of homes to an equestrian school or ranch that could be amazing with that much land. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Kenneth. We appreciate those comments.
Christian, I'd like to ask Kenneth. He had mentioned that there's a lot of obstacles, and could you point some of those out so maybe we don't know about them or like to hear?
Sure. Some of the obstacles that I'm thinking in my head in regards to this subdivision that we're going to put is right now, Anderson Road, it's a two-lane highway. It's just a two-lane road, one way each way. You're going to have to widen. You will have to widen that if you're going to put 6,000 more homes in there at a minimum of 6,000 more cars. I'm sorry, that's going to turn into like a mini 347. If that road doesn't get widened, then you're going to have to move the telephone poles. All that electrical is going to have to go. You have a railroad crossing that's going to go there. You're either going to have to come up with a police and fire substation so that subdivision can have 24/7 access to police and fire, or you're going to have to build an underground little tunnel underneath the railroad track, or you're going to have to build an overpass over this overpass so that they can have 24/7. Even if the train is only 7 seconds long, somebody's having a heart attack, 7 seconds, you're dead. It doesn't take long. And then there's just The other person's going to talk about water. The water issue is a huge deal over there. Floodplains, that's another thing that we are concerned about. You're going to build all this land up. Where's this water going to come run into? It's going to come run into my house. It's going to come run into my neighbor's house and our subdivision's house. All that runoff is going to come over to our houses. And then, this tried to come into play before, and, Jackie Shields, sadly, she's not here, but she had mentioned that somebody ended up losing their home because she couldn't afford the flood insurance that was coming because of the subdivision, and ended up losing her home because of this flood insurance that she needed to have because of this division that was coming. It's just, there's so many things, so many obstacles that are going to be presented here, and you're just going to change so much of the agriculture and the way that Maricopa is around there. And it's just, you're going to have to put in a stoplight. There's no way. it's hard enough to get, from Anderson Road onto the Maricopa Casa Grande Highway with just the small amount of traffic that we have. You want to add 6,000 cars? There's going to be no way. Plus the trains that come by, and just everything else. It's just going to cost. You have to have, I think it's like 500 feet or something between the railroad track and that subdivision. So there's 500 feet all the way around this whole thing next to this railroad track that you're going to lose in land-wise. Horses aren't going to care about that. Animals aren't really going to care too much about a train. And then you have burrowing owls that live out there. Those are endangered. You need to be able to relocate those. You need to be able to move and rehouse them. You're going to come across all these different species of animals that you're going to have to move and rehouse and get them taken care of. And it's just, there's a lot of obstacles and things that are gonna get in the way. And I know that moving the owls will probably happen with building an equestrian ranch, but at least you could just kind of maybe push them off to the side and they could live harmoniously with the ranch. So
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions of Kenneth at this time? Okay, thank you, Kenneth. Appreciate it. Next up is Mr. Dave Klingensmith.
As you already heard my name, Dave Klingensmith, and I live in Santa Rosa Rancheros. What I wanted to talk to you about tonight is when, I approached this with the commission, the zoning commission, and when they had a meeting, a community meeting, and I just want to make a point that we weren't notified of that community meeting, even though we were in 600 foot of that master plan community. Now, they said, the 111 acres was more than 600 foot away from our property, but we're talking one master plan community at 1,886 acres. And I know that I said it at the zoning commission, but I wanted to make sure that you guys had known that all the residents within 600 foot of that master plan community should have gotten a notice that they were having a meeting to change this. We know that this was already attached to that property in the first time, and so it was omitted somehow with you guys, but still, it wasn't very fair that we weren't notified. And so, I'm not prepared to speak about water tonight. That's what I normally speak about, but we're not at that stage yet, and we know that that's just part of moving forward. But they need to realize that even in their project narrative, they stated that this is part of that 1,886 master plan community, 6,600 homes that they plan on putting there. I will tell you, I am not for 8 to 10 homes per acre, which they want to do. We live out there, we're all on 3.5 acres, but I'm looking at it from a water standpoint. 6,600 homes, they're gonna use a lot of water. It's about 3,000 plus acre feet a year for 6,600 homes, which is going to have to come from other areas in your city to feed that. But we'll approach that at another date. But just to move forward in the future, I think that anything that's attached to that master plan community, it's one master plan community that all the residents within 600 feet should get a notification from Iplan or the town of Maricopa. Thanks.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. I guess a question to legal as per that.
How do we handle that? Or how have we handled that in the past? Or in this case, how did we not handle it this time? I mean, I think they've got a point there saying that it's part of the overall master plan. And did we not send out new notices, or is this a separate meeting, or how do we deal with that?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, I think planning staff complied with statutory requirements. Senate, this piece was left out of a bigger piece that had been amended before. So this is just a smaller piece that was left out.
Mayor Price, council members, my name's Rick Williams. I'm your new planning manager, and it's a pleasure to be before you for the first time. City attorney is absolutely right on track with the way we looked at this, and that was that nothing had changed at all with the original offer. Through the meets and bounds, the legal descriptions, this 111 acres was omitted from that legal description, which brings us back here before you this evening. So based on that, not changing anything except to include it in the original plan, we essentially took the notice radius from the 111 acres itself. We sent those out, we posted the site, we were notified that the site had, the sign on the site had blown away. We went back out and reposted it again, so we felt confident that we had met the requirements that the state places on it with respect to this application. I think they bring up a very valid point, sir. And when you think about it in that context, it's hard not to see it that way. And I understand, and maybe that's a conversation that we need to have moving forward. But we felt confident that we had met the requirements.
And thank you for that explanation. I mean, I certainly understand the letter of the law, but I think in this case, we also got to comply with the spirit of the law here, and that, it was part of a bigger conversation. They were notified the first time, but we are bringing it back to talk about another piece of it that was left out. So it would seem like we would do the same thing again that we did originally. But, for whatever it's worth, I would certainly lend my support to, maybe having a discussion amongst planning staff in the future that, when this sort of thing arises again, that, there is the letter of the law certainly from that. Drop the pen, draw your 600 feet, I get it. But it was part of a bigger conversation, so.
Duly noted, sir.
Thank you. Council, thank you. Anyone else at this time the public hearing is still open. Anyone else like to approach the podium on this particular topic? Okay, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing at this time. And council, any further questions on this item at this time? If not, we'll again go into the next piece, which is the resolution for this. This is 8.3. This is a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Maricopa, Arizona, approving and adopting a minor general plan land use amendment to change the land use from low-density residential to master plan community, or approximately 111 acres generally located at the northwest corner of the road alignments of West Rubin Drive and North Ensenada Road, as requested by the city of Maricopa on behalf of Iplan Consulting in case GPA 22-03. This is for discussion and action. Okay, I don't think there's anything else to present unless Alex has anything. Okay, so council, any questions or concerns on this issue that you'd like to raise at this time? Okay, is there a motion then? Is there a motion? Is there a second? And a second? Any further discussion on the item at this time? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Okay. That'll take us to the end of the meeting this evening. Thank you very much for your participation. We appreciate your input. And like has been said to those that are here tonight for that last item, Dave, you said it best when you said there's more to do on this and more discussions to have. So thank you very much for your participation. We'll go ahead and get ready to close this meeting at this time. I have a motion to adjourn. There's a motion. Is there a second? And a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll see you in 2 weeks.